So today I am going to show you how to import the Microsoft Mixed Reality Design Lab into Unity. So let's get right into it. So for the purposes of this video, I'm using Unity version 5.6.3p2. On the GitHub page with the Design Lab, it says that it's compatible with Unity 2017, but I tried it with multiple versions of Unity 2017 and wasn't able to get it to work. So then I just downgraded to 5.6.3 and now it works fine with a couple tweaks. But it gives a basic outline of what you want to do to start importing the Design Lab to Unity. So as you can see, it tells you to clone the repo. So we're just going to clone this whole thing. So, you just got to copy the URL to your clipboard and then clone it in git bash. Well, I use git bash. So git clone. It's going to say that it's already been made because I've already done it. So paste, and then we're going to start the clone, but it won't work because mine already exists. But obviously when you do yours, a file will be created called mrdesignlabs_unity. Just make sure you know where you saved it so you can access it later. And like I said, it does give a little outline of what to do. We need to update or add some submodules, as you can see, and then we need to update the whole repository so we can get access to these hooks and related tools in the assets folder of the repository we just cloned. So let's add in these other lines of git. So cd mr design labs_unity, enter. And I'm sure yours looks different than mine, but I'm just going through the process with you. So git sub module init. Alright, and git, and we're going to update the whole file or the whole folder. Git sub module update. So it just updated. And then we also need to write in this line, git submodule for each git pull. Alright, so now we should, well, after, this all happens. Perfect. Awesome. So now we should have a folder in whichever destination path was stated up here called mrdesignlabs_unity. Mine was just in my user folder, so it saved to the PC, C drive, users, my name, and then, here I'll show you. So I'll go to users, my name, after it loads, and then this folder should have been created, mrdesignlabs_unity, and then when we updated it a second time, it should have created a second folder within the first. And this is the one, or the set of folders we want to actually import into Unity. So once you have these, then you can just drag and drop them into Unity, and all of the assets should appear perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine, but I'll show you what I mean. And I just took the examples folder because, it has all of the Holo Toolkit assets in it, and all of the Design Labs assets, but also some example scenes. And I like to use these example scenes as nice little templates. So I was mostly interested in manipulating objects, like scaling them and rotating them and moving around and all that. So I was just looking at the manipulation example. And as you can see, and I'm sure you saw when you imported the asset or the examples folder, we get this one error message right here. But it's a super simple fix. It's just this begin animated check function, which only takes one argument, and it doesn't even take this type of property. So I'm just going to comment this out, actually. Just simply comment it out and save it, and everything should be fine. We should come up with some warnings, but we'll still at least be able to run the scene. So I'm going to let this update really quick, and then this should be gone and just be replaced by warnings. So I'm just going to clear those, and then I'm just going to start playing our scene in the editor, and everything should play fine. We got all of our bounding boxes are being shown, all of our things all of our game objects are animating and whatnot. But you'll see when I click on this, it won't actually work. There is one line of code that needs to get fixed, and one extra asset we actually need that is included in here. So when I click it, you see nothing happens, and the app bar that you normally see in HoloLens apps, it doesn't have any icons on it. So we actually need to import one more asset, and it's a default font asset, is I think what it's called. I can't remember exactly, but if we if we just search for default, it's this one, this default button icon profile font. So we're missing a font asset for the HoloLens actually, so we need to import that. But luckily, it has a download button right here, so we can quickly just click this, and it should just download the .rar file in the background, which is super convenient, and it already pops up. As you can see, I've downloaded this multiple times before. And all we need, shut up, WinRAR. And all we really need is this .ttf font asset. Just add that into Unity, and we should be able to at least see icons. So I'm going to add that in right now. Alright, so now that we have our HoloSim font imported into our project, and it's been set to that default button icon profile font, which it has, we should now have a big, beautiful app bar with all the correct icons and whatnot. So when I click on this, it still doesn't allow me to manipulate it, but now we have all of these fancy little icons. When I click adjust, nothing happens. So I'll show you why this occurs. And the issue has already been solved. It's as of October 9th, it was changed and fixed so that the issue was that we had this line of code scale transform.localscale, which continued to return as null for some reason. If you actually look in the editor in Unity, on the face of it, everything looks fine, but obviously it wasn't working. So we had this guy, Paseb, well, not we, but Paseb, he managed to fix it by just replacing that line of code with this other small line of code. So if you have an issue with it, check to see if it's this bounding box manipulate.cs. But if you're watching this and you download and you go through the whole process, this should not be an issue. You should be fine. But as you can see in my scripts, it's still all messed up. So I just want to copy and paste that in. Make sure it turns. Alright, so save that, and everything should now be fine as soon as this script updates. So now after this updates and I play it and I click on this object, the app bar should go to it. When I click adjust, the manipulation or the bounding box cube with all the different manipulation points should pop up, and I'll show you. It's beautiful. It's great. Love it. Just gotta wait for this thing to update. Alright, so play, and we'll go into our game view down here. So now when I click on this, the app bar should actually go to the object itself. It won't be over here, and we'll be able to see that proper manipulation bounding box. So as you can tell, we already have the app bar move in like a standard HoloLens app when working with holograms anyway. So we have our hide, adjust, and remove. But when I click adjust, as you can see, now we have the manipulation bounding box. So we could move it around, we could rotate it, we could scale it. It doesn't work in the editor, but when you build it out to the HoloLens, and I've already tried doing it, it works perfectly. I've had no issues with it. So yeah, and it's super easy to add to any other game object, because really all you need are, on this object we have a collider, compound button, and this bounding box target, and that's all you need for any other object to make it so you can manipulate it. Like, I'll just go ahead and quickly make all these go away, and then I'm just going to create a cube and then add a bounding box target to it, and because it already has a collider, we're perfectly fine. The compound button just gets added automatically. So the compound button is good, bounding box target is good, and we could also mess around with the actual bounding box itself and the manipulation. So right now it's set to scale uniformly, but we could scale just the X, just the Y, just the Z if we wanted to. Same with rotation. One thing that you do have to do is, because the bounding box, I'll actually show you right now. Because it's set to scale at the regular scale, the bounding box that's created it's the same exact size as where the app bar goes. So you'll see I can click on this and everything will show up, but the app bar is actually inside the bounding box collider, so I can't click it, as you can see. So one way to just quickly solve this is make the object itself just a little bit smaller. So if I just dumb it down by 0.1, just change this to 0.9 by 0.9 by 0.9, that should just solve the issue right there. And then when you click it in the game mode, it'll still come up, but now you can see that we can interact with these because they're lighting up. And when I click adjust, it's just the same exact thing. It finds the proper scale. You can see it's just been made smaller by 0.1 scale uniformly, and it works the exact same way. You can click and drag it, you can scale it, you can rotate it, and like in the bounding box target script, you can change all these different values, which is super cool. Looks like it doesn't do it at runtime because I haven't actually changed it. But yeah, that's how you add in the design labs, the Microsoft Design Labs in Unity. That's how you manipulate objects. It's all super simple. Super happy I figured it out because I really like these assets that they provided, and I really want to, add them into different apps because it makes it look very professional. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you're doing some cool development stuff yourself. If you are, share it. I want to see it. I like seeing cool people do cool things. So yeah, thanks for watching.